Hello, I'm Keith, and this is my dad, Kerwin. Welcome back to Father and Son, a Star Wars podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We are here. The Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 7, the last episode, in the name of honor. Okay, let's begin. We start off at what used to be the sanctuary. Unfortunately,
there's no sanctuary left.
No, Boba and Fennec are there to see the ruins. Looks like there were no survivors in the blast, unfortunately. And Boba's having a conversation with his group, with the Mod gang, and he's, with Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. They're waiting for these foot soldiers coming from Freetown to help him out. So they're trying to find some kind of stall tactic. So they're just gonna wait there at the ruins, and when their help comes in, they'll be ready for the Pykes.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the Pykes, we go back to Mos Eisley, where the Pykes are located.
Cad Bane.
Right. Cad Bane pays them a visit, and Cad Bane learns some information about Boba. So the Pike admits that they were the ones responsible for destroying the Tusken tribe.
Yep.
Right. Okay. And Cad is thinking, okay, well, this is some information I could use later. So we'll see what happens.
Cad's taking notes.
He's taking notes. All right. Next scene. We see an X-Wing.
And I was thinking it was Luke.
Yeah. Landing near Pelimoto's garage.
But I guess who it is.
Right.
Grogu.
It's Grogu. I'll tell you, I was not expecting to see an X-Wing. I was not expecting Grogu to make a decision so quickly. So apparently we see that he's wearing the armor that the Mandalorian gave him. So apparently he chose to go with Din Djarin. I guess, we'll discuss this a little bit later. We'll discuss this a little bit later. All right. So now we go back to the Krrsantan and the mods, and they're all spread out around Mos Espa.
Yeah, and all the other territories.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, you got Krrsantan with the Transdoshans, you have the Gamorrean Guards with the Klatoonians, and then you have the mods in the Aqualish district.
Right. And then all of a sudden, now remember,
war breaks out. Chaos breaks loose.
Right. Now remember when Boba had these heads of the families come over.
He had them all and said, if the Pykes approach you to betray me, please remain neutral.
Right.
Nope, they want their money.
Apparently,
and they pay.
That's right. Apparently,
but not in that way.
They did exactly opposite of what they were going to do. They were supposed to remain neutral, and they did not. And they started attacking the people of the town. Right. So we had these Transdoshans jumping on Krrsantan, and then the mod is being ambushed by the Aqualish.
Yeah.
And the Klatoonians are going after the Gamorrean Guards. And unfortunately, the Gamorrean Guards lost their lives,
Yeah, they just fell into the cliff, and you're like, that's not a drop. That's a drop.
That's a drop. And, they're not coming back, unfortunately. And they were loyal to Boba from the very beginning, but they're gone. They didn't make it. Okay. Bless you. And then, so back at the sanctuary, the ruins, we see someone show up, paying a visit. Cad Bane comes out and tries to talk Boba again into, making sure that the spice runs through Tatooine. Boba says, take that with you and take it back. We don't want to hear anything about it. We don't want your spice. And that's when he tells Boba about what happened to the Tuskens. And Boba was about to actually get very angry.
Fight Bane.
Right. And there's Fennec in the back, telling him, what, don't, now is not the right time. Don't do it. focus. There's always a time and place for this, but you have to stay focused. And he decides to calm the waters. He's good. And Cad Bane moves on and leaves. Okay.
Whoa, a little weird.
Right. Okay. And then again, his people are being attacked everywhere throughout Mos Espa. So Din and Boba have to come up with a plan. And the plan is that they were trying to find some type of distraction because the Pykes are coming into the town, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is
Pykes are coming fast.
Yes, for Din and Boba to leave town, go off world, and find a way to help the rest of his crew around Mos Espa. So the Major Domo has this idea,
he says that he was educated on Coruscant.
Yes.
And that he specialized in civic council negotiation.
Right.
So Boba Fett gives him this tablet that has what Boba was going to go out there and say to them. So, the Major Domo goes out there and he doesn't even read what's on the pad. So,
right.
It's going to be bad.
Right.
And he goes out there and says, we are willing to give you in return for not circulating the spice. Nothing. Not his words. I mean, that's not my words, his words. Because literally the best line of the episode was, leave this planet, and if you refuse, the arid sands of Tatooine will once again flourish with flowers, fields, fertilized with the bodies of your dead.
It was those were the terms.
Yeah, right? Those were the terms of agreement.
And the Pykes didn't want to hear it, but it was a great distraction, right? Because that was when
Mando came around.
Yes, in the jetpacks, it was awesome. They started firing on the Pykes, and the Pykes were running away. And then from there on, war just continues.
Yeah. So Krrsantan just keeps getting piled on by all those people. Oh, poor Krrsantan.
Yeah.
We already know what happened to the Gamorrean Guards. And Fennec goes to save the mods.
Mm-hmm.
So she saves them, but they're like somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Mando and Boba, they're pinned down too. So it's looking bad. It's looking quite bad for all of them.
And then at the last minute,
Freetown
shows up, all right, in their transport, and they're fully armed and they're firing, and that's wonderful. They come in. And even with Freetown and the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, the Pykes just keep coming, and it's not enough. And and then after the Pykes show up and then they retreat, then we get these battle droids that come out, right?
Yeah, Scorpenek droids.
Right, Scorpenek droids, and they're also firing, and they have the shield, and there's no way to penetrate the shield. Even Din tried to see if he can break the shield by using the darksaber. That didn't work out. And Boba says, you know what?
Why doesn't that even work though? The darksaber thing.
Right, exactly. I'd never known the darksaber to even penetrate a shield like that. I don't even know if a lightsaber can do the same thing.
Yeah, because I know in the Clone Wars they had to slip the grenades under, and then they blow up the shields and the droid. Well, they're called thermal detonators.
Thermal detonators, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? That's funny. No one was equipped with a thermal detonator, right? So
of course not. You'd think Krrsantan would have a couple.
That's true. That's right. Yeah.
Stowed away in those furry pockets.
No, he didn't have it. So they didn't have that. And Boba said, you know what? Okay. He told Din to, take care of the people. I'll be back. He takes off. All right. We don't know where he's going. And then, like I said, the town is overcome by these droids. Peli shows up with Grogu
in a rickshaw.
And she has no idea what's going on, and Din is telling her to turn around and get out, and then she figures what's happening, and she spins around, and Din jumps on the back, and in the back seat next to Peli is Grogu.
Yeah.
And Grogu and Din, they see each other. Grogu jumps into his dad's arms. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's something I would do.
Yeah.
Speaking of funny moments, remember when Peli was like, "Boom, droid!" and then throws the hammer at the droid
Right.
to make it go faster.
And that worked.
Damaging her own property.
And it worked though. I mean, it did. The poor droid, it worked.
Got hit in the head.
It got hit in the head, but hey, okay, life is hard for a droid. Yeah.
And
right.
people.
Exactly.
Especially the people in the episode. They kept getting a hard time.
It was rough out there. I mean, like I said, war was breaking out from everywhere on Tatooine. And Grogu, bless him, was there. I can see the growth, the short period of time that he was with Luke, I can see a growth that has taken place with Grogu as far as his skills with using the Force, because, he, first of all, he goes after the battle droid because the battle droid is actually going after Din Djarin, like Dad's in trouble, he's got to do something. And he comes out and this battle droid is getting ready to drive a sharp object into the Beskar, and Grogu uses the Force
and pops the joint.
Right, and actually, causes the droid to collapse and saves Din Djarin.
Yep.
Right, but still, that's not enough.
And then here comes Boba.
And we hear this sound, this noise, like, okay, this noise sounds familiar. And then when I heard it, and I realized what it was, and I just yelled out,
Rancor!
That's right, Rancor. Boba is riding the Rancor. Yep. How cool is that?
He said he was going to do it, and he finally did it.
He did it. He rode the Rancor, and the Rancor was a match for the other droid, and the Rancor took down the droid and ripped it apart.
Yeah, then stabbed it with the two laser attachments.
Yeah, and took care of that droid. That droid is gone. And then the dude in black from the Wild Wild West shows up, Cad Bane.
I thought you were talking about the Men in Black for a second.
No. Cad Bane shows up again, and he sprays.
How did he get there?
That's a good question. I think somebody else asked that question before. Like he has a ride, I guess, but
he also has jetpack boots.
That's right.
He had those in the Clone Wars.
That's true, and he had it in the Bad Batch as well.
Yeah, but he never used them in Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been awesome to just see a cowboy be like, "I'm getting out of here,"
right,
and then fly backwards out of that place.
Yeah, he doesn't have transportation, but yeah, he's in the town. He I don't know, Uber? No.
So I guess this is like the Renegade Bounty Hunter Uber.
You just have that ride just sitting out
owned
there.
By the company Star Wars Uber Inc.
There you go. Who knows? But he shows up again and he blasts the Rancor with fire, and for some reason fire agitates this Rancor, and Rancor knocks Boba down to the ground and just runs off and starts wreaking havoc and tearing things up. I mean, it's like watching a King Kong movie, it started climbing up the side of the building.
Yep, like in this photo.
Yeah.
I made this.
Yeah, right.
It's mine.
Yes, and then tearing stuff down. It was ridiculous. And here he comes, Grogu again. Calmly walks out, and he sees the Rancor. And once again, this Rancor is huge.
I mean, yeah, right. And very large. Like even Mando literally, like that thing tried to bite his head.
Right. Yeah.
It goes for that Beskar noggin.
I know that Beskar is something else. I mean, the teeth was trying to, crack into the Beskar helmet, and it was not working. But Din was no match for this Rancor. But here comes Grogu, calmly walking out
sideways, the sideways walk
with the grace and the confidence of a true Jedi, even though he's not a full Jedi, and he uses the Force to put the Rancor to sleep.
Yep.
Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm. Like you have to have some type of courage to walk out to something of that size, like walk up to a Rancor and just tame it.
Yeah.
That's like me in Minecraft trying to tame an agitated wolf who's just found a sheep.
Yeah.
It does not work.
You know what? And I wonder, Luke didn't take that step with the Rancor.
He was just
Um,
like,
yeah,
goodbye.
yeah. He didn't really have time to, put this Rancor to sleep.
I
I
think he
don't
was
know.
trying to show Jabba. I
Yeah,
think he was trying to teach Jabba a lesson.
right. I think, at that moment, what Luke had to do with the Rancor was probably the best decision to make because he needed to survive. But who knew that you could put a Rancor to sleep? And Grogu was so masterful at it that he tired himself out and he just crawled up right next to the Rancor and went to sleep with the Rancor.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was
like,
pretty.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's like me, like walking up to Lion,
Mm-hmm.
calling it down, and then being like, I'm tired. I'll just sit
Mm-hmm.
here on this moss.
Right next to the lion.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's bravery. That's bold. Yeah. So Grogu saves the day once again. All right. Now back to Boba and Cad Bane, the final showdown.
Final.
Well, they have a conversation. They have a history. So if you don't know about Boba and Cad Bane's history, it goes back to when Boba was a little child.
Yes, in that deleted Clone Wars arc.
Right. Yeah, you were telling me about that. Now tell me more about that deleted scene that's now canon, you said, right?
Well, it's a deleted Clone Wars episode arc with Boba Fett and Cad Bane.
Yes.
It was like a rivalry, I think. Not too sure because I don't know all the details, but I have heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing they regard that as canon.
That would make sense. Now that they're, many years later, they're now seeing each other face to face.
And rivalry.
Right. So they don't like each other. And, Cad was just trying to get into Boba's head, calling him soft. And, Boba says, you're getting soft in your old age. And Boba says, we all are, you're older than me. Cad Bane says, yeah, but I'm still faster than you. So, they're trying to, get into each other's head.
Trying to get to each other.
Exactly. And then finally it just came down to who was the fastest blaster slinger,
and Bane wins.
And
for the time being.
And Bane got the best of Boba and knocked him down. And, I think he might have fired a couple of times and Boba could not get up. He couldn't reach for his blaster. And Bane is standing over Boba and he even rips off his helmet, Boba's helmet. I mean, it's like, wow, like I want you to see, what I'm going to do to you. This is my final lesson that I'm going to teach you. And then at the last minute,
Boba gets up, hits him with the thing.
Yes,
that gaffy shit.
Boba recalls his family of the Tuscan tribes, how they took him in and how they taught him how to defend himself, but how they created that gaffy stick. Cad Bane didn't even know this was coming because he had, Cad Bane has no idea.
He was blind. He
about
just wanted Boba to be gone.
Exactly. He doesn't know anything about the gaffy stick. This just came out of the blue. And then all of a sudden, Boba got up with that gaffy stick and just
it was over for Bane.
And took out Cad Bane. Now, there's some people who are saying that Cad may still be alive. I don't know. He looked very one with the sand with me.
Yeah. He was just sitting there like, his hat fell off.
Yeah, he looked very dry. And, so
it's dry.
it was very hot that day, so I don't think he's going to survive that, that incident. But anyway, so, and then that's it. The war ends. Yeah. And then there's one more scene. Well, a couple more scenes. Yes.
Well, so in this part, it's Fennec Shan.
Fennec.
So she's found out where the Pykes are in Mos Espa, and she takes care of them and the heads of the family and the mayor.
Yes, Mark Shaiz is no longer.
His character arc has ended.
Yes, and it reminds me of a scene from The Godfather. When at the end of the film, the first film, and the heads of the family, Michael.
I'm not doing this.
Well, no, I'm not.
Do not spoil this.
No, I'm not going to. Okay, all right. I won't say any more about The Godfather. You're going to watch it one day. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to have to wait a long time. You have to be at least 18 to watch this R-rated movie.
True.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you can say it.
No, I won't say anything else. But once you see The Godfather, you will see how Boba, the story of Boba and the gangsters reference The Godfather very, very closely. So anyway, So yes, so the head of the Pike is gone, the head of Klatoonian, the Trandoshan, they were all
The
there.
Aqualish.
Yes, they were all there, and Fennec took care of them. I actually thought when I saw this happening, you know,
You
they
thought it was
being taken
Boba.
out one by one, I thought it was Boba.
But no, Fennec has exactly revenge for him.
Yeah, I was
odd though.
that it was not Boba.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think Boba would want to get personal revenge.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I thought that would have just been perfect. Like, okay, now he knows who actually destroyed that Tuscan tribe, and he's going right after that person, and he's going to be the one to get his revenge. But it turned out to be Fennec. Fennec, let me tell you, Fennec was just the MVP of this series to me, Fennec Shan. So Ming-Na Wen is just fantastic in her role. I would watch her in anything. So it was wonderful to see her. So all right, and now the final scene is
semi-final.
Well, yes, you're right. There's another scene after that. So now this is interesting. So apparently the war is over. The town, Mos Espa, is back to normal. It's hustling and bustling again. There's no more spice running through. There's no more Pykes. Everything is back to normal. People are happy, and people are outside enjoying themselves. They're working.
People are bowing to Boba and giving him mailing run.
But Boba is getting the love from the townspeople, and they're bowing to him, and they're honoring him and respecting him as the leader of the town. And he says something to Fennec, which I did a double take. He said, "We're not suited for this." What do you mean you're not suited for this?
You just picked out Pykes.
Wait a minute.
You were just in 7 episodes of this show.
Wait a minute. So are you, Boba, are you saying that you no longer now want to lead Jabba's kingdom? Are you saying that, you thought you wanted to, but now you don't? I don't know. And then he said, "we." Like, is he also speaking for Fennec? I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. But then when he said that, and when he said, we're not cut out for this, we're not suited for this, Fennec says to him, "If not us, then who?" And then we hear the Mandalorian theme right after that.
Oh, they keep trying to give Mando work.
I was like, is it Boba passing off the baton to the Mandalorian to be the one to take over Mos Espa, take over the town? I didn't get that. That threw me off.
It doesn't make sense though, because Boba's been doing all this. The show was called The Book of Boba Fett, and was centered around him.
Absolutely
doing this.
Yeah. And then the final scene, which was fun to see, we see dad and son back together, and Grogu is in the back.
There's one more scene, Dad. You have to not say final.
All right, I won't say final. I'll say final when we get to the final. So Boba.
The word final is now stuck in my head.
Grogu is knocking on his windshield, and Din say no, we're not doing it again. And then Din says, "Okay, one more time," and they just blast off, and you could just see the glee on Grogu's face, and then it ends, right? And then we get the credits.
Yep, and post-credit.
And we get a
Cobb
post-credit
Vanth
scene.
is alive.
Thank goodness Cobb Vanth is alive. However, it looks like he's going to be modified, just like
maybe
the
a shoulder plate.
I don't know.
The modifier appeared.
Yeah, I didn't know that his injury was that serious, but apparently he's going to, he's going to be fixed up by the mod doctor, the mod MOD,
the witch doctor,
the mod doctor, and then that was it. That was the last episode of. Now let's talk about season 2. Like, what is there going to be a season 2?
I'm not sure. Probably, but because think about it, they left a lot of stuff open. For one thing, the Mandalorian theme is really leaving it open to subjection. Like somebody could say one thing, it's going to start a lot of discussion, is what I mean. So they have to answer this at some point. But then again, to argue for the other side, if Boba Fett's passing the baton to Mando, then there won't be a season 2, or at least on Tatooine. There could be a season 2, just not on Tatooine. But yeah.
Well, I I'm a little thrown off by what I saw in the episode. For one thing, I was surprised that they were going to wrap up this war in just one episode. I was hoping that they can extend it a little bit more, like maybe leave a cliffhanger at the end of this episode so that, oh, wow, so it's going to continue in season 2. But to me, it looks like they've actually tied things up. I mean, they got rid of the Pykes, they got rid of the Spice, they got rid of Cad Bane. So what else is there left for season 2? So I don't know.
I don't think there will be.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, now that I think about it,
Yeah.
there probably won't be.
I don't think there's a need for a season 2. Now, don't get me wrong. If there is a season 2,
I'd like a season 2.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna complain if there is a season 2. I will watch season 2. But I'm just saying, it doesn't sound like there needs to be a season 2.
Right. So I don't know. They again, I wish they would have left us with something open-ended.
Yeah, like Cad Bane surviving.
Well, they did, but Cad Bane's right.
Yeah, and then he could be. You know what they could do? They could like have Cad Bane talking to somebody, and we hear their voice, and then like they turn their head because they're like standing so that you see their back. They turn their head slowly. Boom! Camera cuts. We don't even get to see who it is.
So you hear his voice, Cad Bane's voice, but you don't get to see him.
No, you hear Cad Bane talking to somebody else.
Yes.
But you see that person's back.
You don't know.
And then they slowly turn their head. But before you can see their face, camera cuts.
And you know who that person should have been?
Kira.
Exactly. From the very beginning, we kept
always
saying
suspected
Crimson Dawn unfortunately did not appear in this
Nobody
season.
Listened.
But that would have been a perfect opening for
and a
season
perfect
2.
ending.
If that was a post-credit scene where we heard Cad Bane's voice and we find out who he's really working for. And like you said, I mean, even if we saw her face and she turned around and we just saw Kira, we would have just flipped out. Like, we would have flipped out.
We would have flipped out like the Rancor.
Yeah. And then we would say, I can't wait for season 2. But, at this point, I don't know. But so we had 7 seasons. I'll say this, the 2 episodes, we could talk about favorite episodes to wrap this up. So you want to talk about your favorite episode?
My favorite episode was
favorite chapter?
This one. It was this
chapter
one.
7. Okay.
Because we got to see Boba and the Mandalorian fighting together, and that was my favorite part. Just like awesome. Seeing the 2 of them on screen. One Mandalorian, one wearing Mandalorian armor, and like in solidarity.
Yes, absolutely. That's very nice. I like that word, solidarity. Excellent. And that's exactly what the title means, in the name of honor, right? They were going to go down with the ship, like
in
either
the name of honor, as Din Djarin put it.
Exactly right. Either they were going to win this battle or they're going to lose this battle together. So that's
win together, lose together.
That's right.
Loyalty.
I love that brotherhood. Very good. I'll tell you something. So the episodes where we didn't see Boba Fett, the Mandalorian episodes, that's 5 and 6, I thought was the best Star Wars I have seen since Return of the Jedi.
That's funny.
And it's, again, what I said before about episode 6, I didn't want to see Grogu because I thought that Grogu could wait until season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Of course not.
Right. But I know you wanted to see Grogu, and we did. But as far as my favorite episode, I have to go with my favorite chapter. I have to go with chapter 2 with the train sequence with the Pykes. Awesome train sequence. It was just well choreographed. It was well directed. It was just amazing. It was amazing. I can watch that scene over. Actually, I can watch that entire episode over and over again. I mean, there was so much going on, with the, Boba trying to teach the Tuscans how to ride the speeder bikes, ride it like a bantha. And, it just had so much going on in there. It was lovely. And the final scene of that episode with the tribe, the tribal dance was
epic.
Just, yeah, it brought tears to my eyes, So I love that episode. So I would say that is my favorite chapter.
I got tears in my eyes, but for another reason. There's something in the
rim shot. All right. Well, I think that's it. Did we miss anything?
Nope.
All right. We did talk about Cobb Vanth, right? Coming
Yeah.
back with the surgeon, right? So that's cool. So that is it. So that wraps up season 1, or the only season of the Book of Boba Fett. We don't know. So that means next on the list.
I'm gonna have to
as
check
far
and see
as-
if it's a season or series finale.
I'm hearing different things. People say series finale. Some people say season finale.
Disney Plus tells all.
Yeah, we don't know. I honestly, the way it's ended, I don't think there's a need for season 2, but who knows? So what next up? May 25th drops
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm telling you, you don't know how many long years we've been waiting for our Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and it's finally coming in 3 months. So I can't wait for that. All right. But of course, as we've been, we will be here. We will continue to talk about Star Wars, the characters. We'll talk about the comic books. We'll talk about, we'll talk about the novels. We will line up interviews. So we're not going away. We will still be here for you to give you the Star Wars information that you need to know. Thank you again for following us for these last 7 chapters. We enjoy putting these episodes together and talking to you. And I hope you can see how much we love Star Wars, how much this is a passion for us. So thank you again for watching. Keith, where can people find us?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, Speaker, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, I have a habit of saying thank you for watching, but we also have our listeners as well, so we don't want to leave them out.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We also have a YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Like this episode, that would be helpful. Leave a comment on whatever streaming platform you use. Yes. These comments are very important to us. You can leave us a rating. You can, just leave an opinion. We'll read them and we will address them. But we can't wait to see what happens next. There's so much Star Wars to come in 2022. This is going to be a big year for Star Wars. Okay, so thank you again. If there's nothing else, on behalf of my son Keith, thank you for joining us. Take care, and we will see you again.
Now I'm hungry. I'm having a May we run fruit now.